And so I sat there, and she just sat there and she looked at it. And so she looked at me for about 30 seconds, and then she reached into her purse and she took out two pictures. One picture was him when he was a baby, and one picture was him during his, it looked like he was in his like mid-teens or late teens. And she put his picture in front of him. And she said, "This is who you killed." And she said, "Why did you kill my son?" And so I took out my wallet and I took out a picture of both of my sons and I put it on the table. I said, "And this is who I say." I told her, "I may be a killer, but I'm not a murderer. I don't murder people." And she said, "Ask me." She said, "I just need to know." She said, "Why did you kill my son?" And I told her, "I didn't kill your son. You did." And when I said that, all of a sudden I heard a tss, and I looked up and it was his brother. And he was standing there and he was doing this. Then he opened up his eyes and he looked at me. He did like this. And the woman broke down. She started crying. And as she was crying, she was looking over at me. And I think what hurted her the most is that in her understanding, I wasn't showing any remorse, any compassion, anything. Now this is not to brag, I'm just telling you what happened. Because I wish that this didn't happen. You know, and I don't feel like there's anything on my soul, you know. But as she broke down and cried, her son came and he put his hands on her shoulder like, "Come on, mama, let's go." And so as she was standing up, his brother took the pictures and he looked at me and he gave me a slight smile. He nodded his head. So obviously he knew that I was correct, but he also knew that sooner or later his brother was going to meet his demise one way or another. And by him agreeing that what I said to his mother, that I didn't kill him. I didn't kill him. You did. So I can't say that I'm accurate, but I would think that one of the reasons why he had agreed with me is because obviously maybe she encouraged it in some shape, form, or fashion. But so it's just unfortunate for them, unfortunate for me and my sons. This is a follow-up on my previous video, and I want to go ahead and make this real quick because I want to get past the other previous videos in terms of the subjects, because I would rather begin to go in other areas of living. Plus, I have some people who want to collaborate with me on a lot of subjects. I feel as though I have a whole lot more to offer um, in terms of videos because of my experiences, so these things I would just rather just hurry up and just address these um, issues just so I can get past them. Now, the part that I put before was mostly everybody's concern. They were concerned about how what I said had affected the mother. Everybody was asking me, have you heard from her? Have you seen her and his brother and all of that? No, that was the last time that I ever saw those people. Though that was the last time, And as I said before, I don't like the fact that that even happened. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that that happened. I don't regret it because I was protecting the lives of my sons, but it's a shame that that even had to happen. They asked me, do you feel bad about it? I feel bad that that had to happen, but I don't feel bad about what I did because I was protecting the lives of my sons. So I just want, to answer everybody's questions objectively. Now, this goes back, when they asked me, why did you tell the mother that you didn't kill his son? She did. And I think that a whole lot of ways that it's like my previous video, create no monsters. I think that video pretty much implies what I meant, and if you remember when I was telling you about how his brother had looked at me and how his brother had responded, the nodding of the head and everything, I remember mentioning that in some shape, form, and fashion, his mother had promoted it. You might as well say encouraged it and advocated his behavior. So the way that parents also create monsters is when they allow their children to continue down a path of self-destruction. You love your child so much and he's still your baby, because she gave me a picture of him when he was a little baby. He's still my baby. And so, some parents like that, their children can do no wrong when wrong is all that they're out there doing to others, as he was with his partner for like 6.5 years. They were out there assaulting people. Now, the chief didn't tell me that they killed anybody, because really, if you do your research, information like that is not supposed to be distributed to people, so that's just the way it is. So he told me that they were out stabbing people and shooting people and robbing people, for 6.5 years out here in Las Vegas, another area of Nevada called Laughlin, and another area out here called Carson City. So they were out there doing that for 6.5 years. So, one of the reasons, to me, I felt like 6.5 years and you guys couldn't catch these dudes. You had all this information on them. How come you guys didn't put forth a better effort to catch these guys? If you said they've been doing this for 6.5 years, it means that they didn't try to disguise themselves, because when they had approached me and my sons, they didn't have any mask on, they didn't have anything. They were just monsters. They were created monsters by their parents and the environment. And sooner or later, when you're going down that path of self-destruction, things like that is going to eventually happen. And if you're going down the path of self-destruction, simply because someone defended themselves by taking your life, by pulling the trigger or whatever the case may be, it's still a form of self-destruction because you're out here messing with people, messing with the wrong people. It just took a human being like me who is very protective and love my sons. Unfortunately, it took me, unfortunately, for them to stop their rap, but as far as their road of self-destruction, what I'm talking about is their state of mind, their state of mind, because sometimes you can live the rest of your life suicidal because of the way you're thinking, so, as far as me telling her that she was the one who killed him, I was basically telling her, you raised him. You raised him to be this way. And obviously, during those times when he was out there being cultivated as this monster, at some point in time, she didn't take accountability as a parent in order to correct him. And the only reason why I say that is because of what his brother did, the way he looked at me. And he nodded his head. And when he left, like I said before, he looked at me, he gave me a little smile, and he nodded his head like, you're right, bro, you're right. So obviously some of the things that I'm implying right here, there is a possibility that he was thinking the same way and he was feeling the same way in reference to the relationship that his brother had with his mother, with her obviously feeling like he can do no wrong, because I had even wondered, how is it that him and his friend can be going between Las Vegas, Carson City, and Laughlin, Nevada for 6.5 years doing these things, and his mother not know about it? I mean, did she know about this? So the whole thing is, whenever you help create monsters of your children, when they meet their demise, whether someone deletes them or they end up getting caught, the road of self-destruction is pretty much, as they say today, you are walking the path of deleting yourself. You're deleting yourself. Whether someone kills you or one way or the other, so you can't say, why did you kill my son? When you killed him because of the way that you raised him. This is the way that you raised him. When you raise monsters, and as we all know in horror movies, monsters don't last. Monsters are on a path of self-destruction because they are stirring up conflict and chaos. And there's a certain time where chaos begins and where chaos ends. And that's just not for monster movies like Godzilla or any other horror movie that we sit down and entertain ourselves with. That is a part of the human condition as well. You only have a certain amount of time to be foolish, and sooner or later, that's going to end. It's going to end. And see, that's why it's very, very important for us to raise our children to be human beings members of humanity. We are supposed to put people in this society that's going to be beneficial to humanity so that the world can be a better place to live. We have to give each other heaven while we're still here on earth. If you was to meet me in person, you would meet a very kind and considerate and courteous man. You know, now I have to admit I'm kind of standoffish with people, but when you come in contact with me, you know, as far as communication is concerned, I will boldly say you're not going to find a more friendly and more kind person in the world. You know, I'm very reserved and very humble, you know, and so you're going to find yourself communicating with a man who is very respectable, very respectable. And not only because I was raised to be so, it's just that those are human attributes that I absolutely agree with and I value, because I know that that gives more virtue to the society. You know, because we live in a dual society. You know, the other portion of society don't think this way. And so that's the dual. You know, you have people who want to add to humanity, and you have people out there that are trying to take from humanity by destroying the goodness that people put in humanity through their inhumane thoughts and their inhumane actions. I think I drank too much coffee. But asking me, do you take accountability for the way that she was made to feel? No, she has to take accountability because of the way that she obviously raised him. That got us to that room. You know, people ask me, where do you think his father was? I don't know. But he has to take accountability too, if he was even living during that time. I don't know. I didn't really do a lot of research into the family. The only thing, if you notice, that I knew in terms of his family was the fact that the brother that was in there with the mother was his younger brother. That's all I knew, you know. But after I used to think about her a lot, you know. I mean, of course, you know, she did what she did to try to make me feel bad by looking at me, you know, while she's crying, and you know, she was trying to, you know, trying to make me feel bad. But you can't make me feel bad for protecting the lives of my sons. You can't make me feel bad for protecting the lives of my sons. If Jesus, the Christ, disrespect my sons, I'm taking Jesus out. Now, you Christians can feel any way you want about that statement, but I absolutely mean that. I mean that to the fullest. Because there should be no limitations when it comes to protecting the lives of your children. No limitations. Because if you have limitations when it comes to protecting them, you shouldn't have children. You shouldn't have them. Like I said, we cannot create monsters and put them in society. Because when you create monsters and you put them into society, people like me and my sons have to deal with you. And I was going to make certain that my sons are not going to have to deal with people like him. And I was going to make absolutely certain that they were not going to see their father take the lives of two human beings. That's why I told them to lay down and don't look up no matter what you hear. I don't want you to see this because I don't want you to record this. Okay? I will suffer this for you, but not you. I don't want you seeing that. I don't want you feeling that. I don't want you afraid of your dad. I don't want you to feel as though that you can't talk to me about certain things. You know, those type of things. And so you have to be very careful what you allow to transpire around your children. And situations like that, I knew exactly, once I saw exactly what this was, I calmed myself and I made certain that, you know, they were put away, you know, lock the door and, you know, like I said, because I didn't want to excite them, because if I would have excited them, they would not have laid down in that back seat like I instructed them. Had I had excited them and made them think and feel that it was an emergency, even though I told them to lay down and told them to lock the door, they still would have been, what's going on? Because I would have made them feel like they were in an emergency type situation. But I calmed myself down so that they could comply properly, so that when they laid down, they stayed down, you know? And so that was it. Because you don't want things to affect your children simply because someone's other parents were being irresponsible by not making certain that their children out here are treating people like human beings. You know, no monsters. We can't create monsters and put them out here in society, because when we help create monsters and put them out here in society, we're doing humanity a great disservice to the planet. A great disservice to the planet. And the world is going into darkness right now at a fast rate because not enough people love humanity. Not a lot of people understand how very valuable this planet Earth is. And it's just a shame, you know, because of the effects of this government system. And, you know, it's got this high inflation, and it's, you know, you have religions that are betraying people, and a whole lot of the doctrines don't really have anything imbued within the doctrines that helps people govern their behavior, and therefore don't really instruct you on how to behave and why. So, you know, they're giving you a whole lot of things out there to submit to, but in effect, you're really on your own with a whole lot of things out here. I mean, a lot of information out here is really just, that's all it is. It's just information, and that's it. You know, most of the things that we are up in today is just a bunch of rhetoric. It sounds good, but it doesn't really have any substance. You know, that's just like, you know, the people that are walking around with this negative energy and positive energy and high vibrations and the chakras and all of that means nothing at all. Okay, you sound like a bunch of Einsteins, and you sound like a bunch of robots. You know, and you say, well, I'm out of Christianity right now. You know, yeah, but you're just using different words. You know, it's like the Christian condemn you, you still doing the same thing. You're just using different words. The Christians say, you a devil. You tell somebody you're a negative human being. I mean, it's just a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. And any information that's going to cause a divisiveness within humanity only imposes the greatest violence on humanity, and that is the separation of humanity. And it puts us on this side and that side. And we have opposing mentalities because we've given ourselves to opposing information. And you just keep going back and forth like that. And it's not going to make anything better. And that's one of the reasons why humanity is not one now. We're just a bunch of fragments. And we're out here causing harm to one another. And as long as that continues, things are not going to get better. So as parents out there, I say again, please make certain that you are not raising monsters, whether it's your son or your daughter, and putting them into this society, because you're basically killing them. You're setting them on the path of death and self-destruction. And due to the fact that you put them on that path and you allowed them to venture down that path, and you see some of the wrongs that they do and you looking the other way, basically what you're doing is you're ushering them towards a cliff, and you're not telling them to stop or turn around. That's pretty much all you're doing. When you love your children, you teach them how to be human beings. When you hate your children, you turn them into monsters. So I'm hoping that I'm covered what I needed to cover as far as my previous video is concerned. And if I'm just going to say, if you have any more questions about that situation, I'm not going to answer them, because I want to move forward to better subjects, better, more uplifting subjects, because my life has been difficult, but it hasn't not been beautiful. I've had a lot of beautiful experiences, and it's those beautiful experiences that really touches the humanity of the soul. And despite if you have more experiences that are considered dark, all you need is just a few of those real beautiful experiences, and it helps you understand that those dark times were not so bad, because you survived. So with all of this being said, as I said before, just make certain that we continue to create human beings and put them in this society, because, and I will say this for the religious community. So just give me a few minutes. When Yeshua had told people, go and sin no more, he's telling you that you don't need me, and you don't need to pray to the Creator for you to end your path of self-destruction or to save yourself from yourself. He told you to go and sin no more. He's telling you you can do that yourself. Do it yourself. And there's another part in the Bible. Even though the book of Revelations, it tells you how the last days are going to go. But when you really pay very close attention to Yeshua's message and him telling you how powerful you are as a human being on the inside, in reference to you being able to end all of the self-destructive behavior. He's telling you can end it yourself. You don't need me, to tell you. It's pretty much like he says, be ye therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is also perfect. Now, where we make the mistake is everybody has a description of what perfection is. Throw that away. Because if everybody sat at the table and talked about what perfection is, you'll never find it. You'll never find it, because perfection is not a definition. It's a state of individual being. He's telling you to be ye therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is also perfect. The same Father that created you in his image and after his likeness. But you're still an individual. That's one of the reasons why you were manifested into this life, to live at a certain time and purpose. So you're still an individual, but going towards what I was talking about in terms of the book of Revelations. Now, the book of Revelations is giving you a insight on what could happen during the end of times. This could happen, but there's another part where it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal the land. If you would do this, if you will humble yourself and pray and decide to turn from your wicked ways. See, the Creator is not telling you that I'm going to help you. I'm going to turn you from your wicked ways. He said, if you will turn from your wicked ways. So it's also telling you, you know what your wicked ways are. You know. So turn from them. Love yourself enough to turn from your wicked ways. Your wicked ways. That means you identify that these wicked ways are my own. So what do? You fall out of love with wickedness and you fall back in love with righteousness. And once you turn, you fall back in love with righteousness, then you have the power and the will to say, you know what? I ain't in love with you no more, so I'm going to turn from you. I'm going to turn from those wicked ways. So when you turn from those wicked ways, and I'm talking about myself too, when you turn from those wicked ways, then the Creator will hear us and heal the land. It's telling you that humanity can be resolved by the human family. Now, when everybody understands that humanity can resolve itself, then what's being taught in the book of Revelations does not have to transpire. Because it's telling you, if you would turn from your wicked ways, then I'll hear from heaven and I'll heal the land. The power is within us. Don't let these preachers tell you God's got to do it. God done already did it. Check out the Beatitudes. Be this, be that. He didn't say become. So it's not a process. See, becoming something is a process. He's not talking about a measurement of time. He's not talking about a process. He's not talking about a period of changing. He's telling you to be. He's telling you that you already have it inside of you. You already have it inside of you. Just what? Be. Be what? Be yourself. Just be yourself. Get rid of all of the madness that we've been accumulating through this wicked society. This is why he said, except a man be born again, only then will he be able to see the kingdom of God. A clear perception of what is right. Get rid of that. And that's how we can create what the religious community, and it's just simple, heaven on earth. This is the reason why I was saying in those Create No Monsters video. No, what was it? It was the healing video. You give your children heaven while you're on this planet. Simply because you died and you smiling down on earth, that don't mean nothing, bro. Because when you was here, like I said, you gave us nothing but hell. You supposed to give your family, friends, associates, give everybody heaven while you're here. You don't want to be like my Aunt Ruth on this planet for like between 83 and 84 years and only 5 people come to your memorial. That's terrible. And all of those 5 people were family members, and therefore nobody came. Because you know family is going to come, but at the same time, you come from a huge family and only 5 people. Because you gave everybody hell while you were here. Let's create human beings and not monsters. Because when you create monsters, then you put people like me in the position to where I had to do what I did. Do I feel good about what I did? Yeah, because I was protecting my sons. Do I feel bad that it happened? Yes. Yeah. Does it bother me? No, not at all, because I know that what I done was right, because I was protecting my sons. So this is why, I tell people with those videos, you really have to understand the whole situation and why it transpired the way that it did. But with all of that being said, like I always say in my videos, I hope that everybody understood it and everything. And I just want to move on to better subjects, because like I say, I've been a lot of places, and there's a lot of things that I've learned in my life that I want to share with a lot of people. And so with that being said, everybody have a good day and stay human, and understand that being human is just simply means that you are a member of humanity, and humanity is a good thing, and being human is a good thing. One of the mistakes that we make a whole lot is that we only admit that we're human when we mess up. Well, I'm only human. No, don't ever say you only human. Only human? Being human is very profound. So you should never say only. Being human is a beautiful thing, and once you understand what it means to be a human being, you're going to find yourself being a Christian, being a Muslim, all of those things are just extras. All of those things are just extras. And as time goes on, once you understand exactly what being a human being is, you just may get rid of those extras, because you're going to find out that just simply being a human being is enough, because it's always been enough. So with that being said, everyone stay human, and y'all have a good evening. Peace.